Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was unlike anything found on Earth. A vast expanse shimmering with a mixture of chromatic lights and volatile energies that danced across the walls, casting vivid shadows. Representatives from countless alien races floated, debated, and occasionally engaged in extravagant displays of power that were both awe-inspiring and intimidating. Each species brought its own unique cultural flair, shaping an atmosphere thick with curiosity and tension. Xylar, an imposing figure from the Ascari, those revered for their superior technology and stoic demeanor, dominated the center podium. He stood tall, his multiple elongated limbs swaying slightly as he gestured emphatically, each movement accentuated by a trail of sparkles. Humans are primitive at best, hiding behind their quaint notions of compassion. Their fear of war is their greatest flaw. They shy away from combat, masking it with diplomacy and emotional prowess. It is a detriment they do not even realize. At the fringes of the chamber, smaller creatures clustered into huddles, anxiously murmuring amongst themselves, apprehension evident in their body language. One particularly intriguing figure, a delicately feathered being known as Yelra, braved a response. But they have displayed resilience in the past. Their history shows they can confront challenges that threaten their very existence with creativity we have yet to comprehend. Resilience? Xylar's tone dripped with sarcastic contempt. What have they done aside from cower behind false mechanisms of peace? Let us prepare to cast down our arms and let them face their fate alone. Perhaps a demonstration of their inadequacies would teach them. A debate raged on, voices clashing, and diverse opinions clashed like clashing thunder. Dromath, a colossal being composed of ice, spoke up next, his deep voice resonating through the chamber. Perhaps our intervention could prevent escalation. Their unpredictability, while sometimes detrimental, can also prove to be an asset if channeled and guided correctly. We must not underestimate the human spirit. Xylar shot a glance toward Dromath, his irritation spilling into silence. Let them learn the harshness of life without our shelter. Their fear will consume them, whether they realize it or not. Meanwhile, in a control room on Earth, Captain Alyssa Grant was immersed in her work at the Earth Defense Force Command Center. The screen in front of her flickered with operational data, tactical maneuvers, and training simulations for her squadron of eager pilots. "Alyssa!" shouted Colonel Whitmore from a side console, his voice projecting authority over the buzzing noise. "We need you to focus on flight maneuvers. The Council's chatter is meaningless noise. They will never understand us." Her fingers paused as she glanced at the screen, catching a glimpse of Xylar's condescending attitude toward humanity. "Fear? Cowardice? They obviously don't know us at all," Alyssa murmured to herself, rolling her eyes toward the screen. "As if we would want war, as if they think that defines our strength. We're more than just warriors, we have layers." Just as Alyssa turned her focus back to the training exercises for her team, alarms blared throughout the command center. Red lights flickered ominously, piercing the haze of routine with urgency that set everyone into a flurry of action. The air crackled with a palpable tension as dread pooled in the pit of her stomach. "Status report," bellowed Colonel Whitmore, rushing to a nearby console, his expression a mix of annoyance and worry that sent ripples of concern through the command center. "Commander, we have a massive alien fleet approaching from Sector 9, shouted a technician, fingers racing across the control panel as a holographic projection soon illuminated, displaying the web of approaching ships, heavy, ominous, and methodically maneuvering toward Earth. "Causalities are likely," another officer cried, their voice trembling under the weight of impossible news. Alyssa felt a jolt of fear writhing in the pit of her stomach, her heart hammering against her chest. "Can we reach out to the Galactic Council for support?" she asked, desperation lacing her words like a lifeline. Colonel Whitmore effectively shook his head, frustration palpable. "We can't rely on them. They view us as weak. They won't help us. We're on our own in this one." "Great, just what we need," Alyssa fumed, her jaw tightening as she turned to Raj, her tech wizard friend, whose face was a mix of alarm and focus. "Get the drone squadron ready. If these guys think they can take us on, They clearly underestimate humans' fighting spirit. Raj nodded enthusiastically, determination shining in his eyes like a beacon. Right away. I'll make sure our drones take them by surprise at the most opportune moment. As they prepared their defense amidst the panic radiating throughout the room, the massive holographic display flickered to life, revealing Xylar's smug face, a holographic projection crafted with unparalleled care and thought. Should you wish to survive this encounter, you must heed our words. Prepare to surrender. You stand alone, and this weakness will spell your end. With clenched fists, Alyssa felt her blood boiling beneath her skin. We refuse to let them bully us. We'll show them the strength of humanity, she declared, her voice resonating with fierce purpose, determination swimming across her features. Alyssa stood amidst the chaos in the hangar, her uniform crisp and ready, voice tinged with urgency. Around her, a diverse group of pilots huddled, each clad in flight gear, their faces a canvas of determination and fear. The atmosphere buzzed with adrenaline as tension swirled like electric current permeating through the sea of anxious faces. "Attention, team," Alyssa called, elevating her voice above the murmurs and fading tension. "Let's not forget why we're doing this. Fear is natural, even I feel it. It means you care. We can't let that fear lead us to defeat. We fight for our home, for our people, for everything we hold dear, not just for survival." Their eyes flickered from one another, nerves crackling in the air like dry leaves. Tom, a rookie pilot, stood timidly at the back, chewing his lip in anxiety. Noticing, Alyssa approached him. "Tom, are you all right?" she asked, her tone softening, her presence stabilizing. I'm just not sure," Tom stuttered, his hands shaking slightly as he adjusted his helmet nervously. "What if we mess up and lose everything?" "Hey, it's okay to be scared. Even I'm scared," Alyssa admitted, crouching to meet his gaze. "But fear can fuel our strength. We've trained for this. Remember the flight simulations? We adapted and outsmarted the AI back in training." As she encouraged her team, Raj, her childhood friend and tackle enthusiast, sidled up beside her, humor lighting his demeanor. "Funny you mentioned simulations. Now we get to put all that training to work in the real world. Time to show them why they should think twice before crossing humanity." With a steadying breath, Alyssa returned her focus to the pilots before her. "After briefings, we need to remain agile. If we can channel our fear and unleash our determination, we will come out of this." Amid the sounds of machinery and distant alarms, tension gave way to collective strength as the pilots began gearing up, their anxious energy slowly transforming into resolve. The thought of facing the unknown loomed large, but Alyssa felt a powerful collective strength surge through the room. Every individual was ready to take on the chaos ahead. "Together, we'll turn that fear into a rallying cry. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Earth!" Their voices echoed, ringing clear, a unique battle cry for humans under the stars, powerful and defiant in the face of adversity. As the alarms blared and the atmosphere thickened with anxiety, her crew began moving into formation. Each ship glided gracefully from the hangar into the cosmos, their sleek metallic surfaces reflecting the deep void of space, offering competition to the darkness with its brilliance. "All right, team, let's maintain formations tight. Whatever happens, stick together, but don't forget to remain unpredictable. The unexpected is our weapon," Alyssa instructed, gripping the controls of her fighter ship as they soared onward toward a destiny unfolding. "Raj, status on our drone readiness?" she asked, her pulse quickening, eyes focused on the task ahead. "Drone squadrons are fully operational. We can route them remotely through your controls," he enthused, his voice steady amidst the chaos gathering outside. As they approached the alien fleet, soda cans and empty chair containers scattered on the console echoed the feeling of anxious anticipation. Their sleek ships soon neared the vast wall of alien vessels, massive, dark, glimmering ominously like a nest of dangers with power unseen. "Set communication protocols to tactical. We need intel from our scouts," Alyssa ordered, the gravity of the moment weighing heavily on all of them. "Let's not underestimate their capabilities. We need conscious awareness." As shielding flickered around their fighters, suddenly alarms began blaring from multiple vessels across the fleet. A surge of incoming projectiles rushed toward them like a hailstorm. "Incoming!" someone shouted, as Alyssa swerved sharply, narrowly evading the onslaught. The sharp sounds of explosions illuminated the void like strobe lights, filling the dark canvas of space with bright hues, punctuating fear. "We have to keep each other safe. Stay on alert and stick to the plan," she called over the comms, her voice firm as she engaged in evasive maneuvers. As the air crackled with anxiety, Raj's disembodied voice chimed into the chaos. "They seem to focus their energy on taking down swarm drones. Our numbers are already reduced. Let's draw a section of their forces while we flank these larger ships." Alyssa felt exhilaration surge through her, the buzz of competition lighting her focus. "Okay, formate squadron. Engage on my mark. We are drawing that fire to help." The squad of pilots matched their positions, preparing themselves for the true essence of combat. Hearts thumped in rhythm with the stress of pulse-shaking laser beams creaking against shielded hulls. In that moment of sheer chaos, they were not merely pilots but warriors, and their fight was a symphony of human determination and ingenuity, a resonance born from having each other's backs. "Now, move!" Alyssa shouted, leading the charge as drones unleashed a calculated barrage of missile strikes toward designated targets. The chaos deepened as explosions ruptured through alien ranks, filling the void with fiery lights that turned night into day. Alyssa veered her ship into the heart of the fighting, where technology met instinct, creating a whirlwind of energy that culminated in unified force. She could hear the terrified yelps from the alien crew punctuating their efforts to shoot her down. "Even you can't hide behind that fancy armor forever," she taunted the alien commander, who seemed relentless in pursuit. The adrenaline surged as laser blasts shot past her hull, and every move was sharpened by instinct, trusting her training and her team to back her up. In the thick of the battle chaos, Alyssa kept her resolve strong. Their combined energy refused to relent. "What's our status?" she urged over the comms, anxiety creeping in, when suddenly the screen flickered with signs of desperation. "They're outnumbering us 3-1, Raj replied, his voice both anxious and determined, cutting straight through the chaos. "But we're holding our ground for now." "But for how long? We need a strategy, and we need it fast," Alyssa urged, her determination intensifying. "Ironically, it's the unpredictability of us that may save our skins," Raj said, even through the rhythmic chaos. The intensity of battle surged as moments stretched, laughter and shouts forming a rhythm. Creatively thrumming through the infinite expanse of space, they represented the last thin line. Nothing stood between the hearts of humanity and the void of systemic forces beyond their understanding. With every explosion, vibrant sparks alternated with shadows, every sensation building as they fought against the palpable despair threatening to pull them in. Past traumas, the lives lost, and hopes stifled reminded Alyssa of humanity's burden, yet they coalesced beautifully in the midst of impending chaos that surrounded them. As the might of the alien fleet bore down upon her and her team, Alyssa made a split-second decision. "Everyone, break the formation, scatter. Let's disrupt their targeting systems." What followed was pandemonium. Ships darted left and right, laser beams crisscrossed through space as they evaded the onslaught of enemy fire. This unexpected disorder disoriented the aliens, creating pathways of chaos which disrupted their focused blasts. "It's working! They're losing focus!" shouted Tom, invigorated by their tactical shift. Floating through the tumult, their laughter mingled with labor while dodging danger. With confidence swelling, Alyssa took the lead, challenging the enemy's perception. "Now launch the drones. Let's throw them off entirely." She swung her ship, sending the drones spiraling out to engage while her squad followed suit, matching her lead. "Hey, don't think you're the only one with amusement on your mind," Raj yelled, injecting levity into chaos. "I hope you guys are ready for the greatest show, the Great Human Circus." Laughter echoed through the comms, sparking a much-needed touch of humor amidst the chaos as their drones danced about the enemy ships, drawing fire away from her assembled pilots. As the moment stretched into eternity, Alyssa locked eyes with the alien flagship, towering menacingly, cloaked in a shimmering dread that glinted ominously under flashes from the battlefield. This powerful adversary was unlike anything they had faced before. their technology beyond what she even dared to imagine. "Time to take you down," she muttered under her breath, before steering her ship toward the enemy commander. The bravado of defiance spread through her chest, igniting a fire within her soul. "Humans, your pathetic resistance ends here," the alien commander thundered, their voice seething with disdain. "We will crush you all," Alyssa smirked, adrenaline fueling her drive. "We may resist, but it's our spirit that scares you, and that's something you can never extinguish," she shouted defiantly, as she launched a concentrated blast toward his formidable ship. With her heart racing, stubborn determination pushing her forward, she executed a series of swift commands, pressing the throttle down with renewed energy as fiery beams shot toward the target. Explosions erupted in a mesmerizing display of pyrotechnics, the colossal structure crumbling in on itself like a crumbling castle made of glass. In the throes of battle, time felt elastic, and exhilaration thrummed through Alyssa's very being. She barely registered that alien fire did not cease. The energy pulsated like a heartbeat, illuminating the black canvas of space. "Watch out!" Raj screamed as a looming blast hurtled straight toward Alyssa's wing. There was a moment of panic that rushed through her veins like fire. Thrusting her ship upward, she barely escaped the devastating blast impact, but felt the jolt of turbulence ripple through her frame. The exhilaration, mixed with fear, brushing sharply against her resolve. "Focus, Alyssa," she breathed, shaking off the dread. "We cannot falter now. They need to recognize our resilience." As she swiftly rotated her ship, her approach changed, manipulating the depth of combat amid chaos. "Fire again! Concentrate on that damned flagship. Sweep it clean with our combined might." For the first time all battles, it felt as though humanity surged as one, creativity under fire, battling against those who deemed them weak. Alyssa knew every soul on board felt the weight of vulnerability, but no longer did they indulge in fear. They had grown stronger with each minute that ticked away. With a final artillery volley, the commander shrieked, their flagship crumbling as energy spiraled splendidly out into the abyss and the stars. With every explosion, a piece of the fight melded into history, a testament of hope rather than the burden of fear. As the fighters began to retreat in disbelief, the reality of their actions dawned. Humanity, once afraid, was no longer willing to cower to minimize the threat. They had instilled doubt in their enemies, and their spirit was now totally uncompromising, set ablaze with pride. In the aftermath of the intense engagement, adrenaline began to fade, leaving fatigue and the weight of loss in its wake. They rallied back at the command center, a slim margin of victors in the chaotic symphony of war. Bathed in an eerie glow, they reviewed their situation on screens filled with diagnostic markers and perfunctory alerts. Many looked disheartened at the loss they had incurred, comrades missing in action creating an unmistakable absence in the ranks. "I can't believe this happened," Tom exclaimed, his voice breaking. His shoulders slumped, gaze distant as he stared at the floor. "What if we just sacrificed lives for nothing?" "Tom, you need to listen. We fought hard. We fought to protect our planet," Alyssa said, her voice imbued with fortitude. Kneeling beside him, she leaned in closer, trying to offer the comfort they all desperately needed. "It's brave to recognize grief. The battle is not just about survival, but unity and sorrow. We must remember them as they would want." Others murmured agreement, but Alyssa felt an ache in her chest, the gravity of their situation pulling her down. She needed to remind them that humanity was a tapestry woven of resilience amidst shadows. Because of our actions today, we have the chance to see tomorrow. Our losses fuel our resolve. This isn't just survival, it's humanity standing tall when faced with obliteration. With that, the crew began to resolve into a circle, sharing their fears and their joys, laughing about the awkward moments that led them all to storytelling. Every bond crafted wove tightly, cultivating determination as they shared memories of their lives back home. The softness of wind chimes dancing gently, the laughter echoed in streets where children played, family gatherings heralding golden moments of unity. Raj rose earnestly after he took a moment to consider his words, each syllable a blend of thoughtfulness and humor. "Perhaps we could mix our absurdity with our tactics, embrace the unexpected, Our unpredictability can outweigh their numbers. We can treat our strategies like a comedy show, so they never know what we'll do next. All these maneuvers wouldn't be possible without us taking risks, Alyssa added, her voice raising with excitement and care. Let's face them together, through every strike. Show them what humanity is, chaotic and passionate. The enemy doesn't know how to combat that. Encouraged by one another's words, they began to innovate, building on the strengths of their training, their confidence igniting with every passing second. With wit and humor, they mapped out new tactics, maneuvers that exploited their surroundings creatively, prompting unexpected angles of attack to confound the enemy with false predictability. As planning morphed into action, Alyssa led the effort with unwavering courage, bravely pushing back against overwhelming doubt. They drafted a plan, knowing chaos itself could be their ally when wielded with intention. Tomorrow, we return stronger, even if we stand alone against the stars, she declared, a rallying cry resonating through everyone in the makeshift war room. The following day dawned amidst a canvas of stars, a beauty betraying the turmoil broiling within. They gathered in the hangar, determination carrying heavy burdens of reality, each burst of chatter humming with energy that shook the air around them as anticipation filled their spirits. Assemble your fighters. Everyone, as soon as you strap in, be ready for action, Alyssa shouted, pacing about, checking machinery, ensuring everyone knew their roles and responsibilities were crystal clear. As they took off into the vastness of space, the familiar pangs of dread, mixed harmoniously with the anticipation of war, tickled at their spines, preparing them to confront whatever lay ahead. A single strike could entail the difference between victory and their very existence. Approaching alien territory. Prepare for combat. A disembodied voice echoed over the comms, tension palpable until the ship formations came to synchronized positions. Sweeping around the corner, they spotted the enemy fleet, formidable like shadows of doom, yet Alyssa felt the urge to urge against that shadow in unyielding defiance. Looking to her crew, she spoke with every ounce of confidence she could muster. Remember, chaos is on our side. Embrace it, don't fear it. Let's be unpredictable. Upon reaching the heart of battle, laser beams unleashed in a fury of vivid lights that obliterated the darkness, painting stark contrasts across the celestial map, as every pilot sworn into combat took their responsibilities seriously. Tom, reverse. Raj, launch the drones, Alyssa commanded. Keep them guessing. We won't fall into predictable firing lines. As multiple squads danced around the firings, the sight of alien ships descending filled Alyssa with a renewed sense of vigor. Humanity was wild and unpredictable. They had become explorers in a maze of danger created by enemies who believed they had the upper hand. Desperation lingered in the air as she locked eyes with the alien flagship. Their towering, menacing hull was adorned with intricate designs that bespoke a civilization rich and advanced beyond comprehension. Time to take you down, Alyssa muttered under her breath before steering her ship toward the commanding vessel. The bravado of defiance spread throughout her just as the flames surged in a smithy, igniting her spirit. Humans, your pathetic resistance ends here, the alien commander thundered again, his voice resonating like angry waves crashing against a shore. We will crush you all and leave no survivors, Alyssa smirked, adrenaline fueling her drive. We may resist, but it's our spirit that scares you. And that's something you can never extinguish, she shouted defiantly, as she launched a concentrated blast toward his formidable ship. With her heart racing and stubborn determination pushing her forward, she executed a series of swift commands, her fingers gliding seamlessly over controls as fiery beams shot toward the target. Explosions erupted in awe-inspiring displays of pyrotechnics, the colossal structure crumbling in on itself like a fortress of glass. In the throes of battle, time became meaningless, elastic, and invasive in its reach, and exhilaration thrummed through Alyssa's very being. She barely registered that alien fire did not cease. The energy pulsed like a heartbeat, illuminating the black canvas of space. "Watch out!" Raj screamed as a looming blast hurtled straight toward Alyssa's wing. There was a moment of pure panic that rushed through her veins. Thrusting her ship upward, she barely escaped the destructive impact, the reverberating jolt of turbulence rippling through her frame. The exhilaration mixed with fear, brushing sharply against her resolve. But she steadied. "Focus, Alyssa," she breathed, shaking off the dread. "We cannot falter now. They need to recognize our resilience if we are going to fight." As she swiftly rotated her ship, her approach changed, manipulating the depth of combat amid chaos. "Fire again. Concentrate on that damned flagship. Sweep it clean with our combined might." For the first time in all battles, it felt as though humanity surged as one, creativity under fire, battling against those who deemed them weak. Alyssa knew every soul on board felt the weight of vulnerability, but no longer did they indulge in fear. They had grown strong with each minute that ticked away. With a final artillery volley, the commander shrieked, their flagship crumbling as energy spiraled splendidly out into the vast abyss among the stars. With every explosion, a piece of the fight melded into history, a testament of hope rather than the burden of fear. As the remaining fighters began to retreat in disbelief, the reality of their actions dawned. Humanity, once afraid, was no longer willing to cower to minimize the threat. They had instilled doubt in their enemies, and their spirit was now totally uncompromising, set ablaze with pride. As the remnants of the fleet fell back, the Earth Defense Force celebrated the unthinkable, victory achieved amid incredible odds. Excitement filled the command center, laughter bubbling up amidst the adrenaline buzz as the walls reverberated with commotion and sheer joy. "We did it!" Alyssa shouted enthusiastically, throwing her hands into the air amidst the joyous cheers. The crew embraced one another, adrenaline still coursing through their veins, celebrating their hard-fought victory over insurmountable odds. "She's right," Raj grinned widely, grabbing Alyssa and spinning her around joyously. "Indubitably, we crushed those intergalactic bullies right where it hurts." As the exhilaration mounted, the image of Xylar flickered on the holographic communications panel, a stark reminder of the council looming over them. "Alyssa Grant," Xylar called, his voice wavering between disbelief and acknowledgement. "Your defiance led to a stunning outcome. We have grossly underestimated humanity's resilience and resolve." Alyssa crossed her arms defiantly, a smirk forming on her face as she tried to suppress her amusement. "You thought we'd cower in fear? Your perception of our race is fundamentally flawed, Xylar." Xylar took a moment, his composed facade cracking, hints of admiration creeping in. "Your capacity for creativity amid such challenges is admirable. Your resilience against overwhelming numbers is remarkable, and perhaps this deserves respect rather than contempt. Maybe this gives you a reason to rethink humanity as potential allies," Alyssa replied, her energy invigorated by the spirit of the moment. "We're not perfect, but we don't shy away from hard choices. Our openness makes us strong." As the crew gathered around the screen, a sense of camaraderie enveloped every soul present, and Alyssa felt a renewed sense of purpose beyond the fight, beyond war. They had proven what they were capable of, solidified alliances between unimagined forces across the galaxies. "Your actions today will be noted as a pivotal turning point for how we view Earth," Xylar acknowledged, his voice echoing through the chamber, resonating with newfound respect. "Perhaps it is already time to formalize alliances among us. Interactions beyond mere conflict can bloom into something more profound, a journey toward peace." "Right. So are we all invited for a barbecue now?" Alyssa asked, humor filtering through her voice, evoking smiles from the crew. Laughter erupted again, light and joyful, an echo of shared relief in the face of reality. "Perhaps it is indeed time to formalize friendships among humanity and the Galactic Council," Xylar conceded, significant tones embedded in his voice, recognizing their importance moving forward. "We should discuss how to build a cooperative future together." As they disconnected from the comms, Alyssa felt a wave of warm contentment wash over her. They had transformed through their fear, learned to embrace ambiguity rather than retaliate against it. They stood united as they looked out over Earth, watching it hang suspended in the distance, cradled by bright stars that felt closer than ever. Floating ships danced endlessly against the dark canvas, adding brushstrokes of destiny on the void. They had fought against their fears, proven themselves to the galaxy, and evolved into resilience intertwined with courage. Surrounded by laughter, The weight of the universe felt lifted, and the very notion of hope emerged as a guiding beacon. Together they forged ahead into uncharted territory filled with dreams. A celestial journey awaited, buoyed by the spirit of humanity. There was strength where fear once resided, a new chapter unfolding from the alliances forged in the fires of combat, and they knew they would continue to shape their shared future.